Okay, so this session is being recorded. So we will send it out, or Katie will send it out so that you have all the information that we review and know how to reach out to us throughout the summer and beyond.
I'm Jennifer McLaughlin. I'm the Executive Director of Student Advising and Success. And so Christine and I work together with some other amazing people who are here to help support your academic success and to connect you with other academic resources on campus. So we're going to go through a brief presentation to explain what each of those offices are, and then talk a little bit more about what the fall is going to look like for all of you as far as your schedule and your academics are concerned.
Okay. Okay, so like I said, we are the Office of Student Advising and Success. We work with any student at Sacred Heart, and meet that student where they're at, depending on what you're looking for, and any questions that you may have, you can absolutely come to us, and we'll try and, answer those questions or direct you in the right area, if it isn't something that we can handle.
Take a potentially dangerous action without thinking first. This is
Someone's mic's on. Okay, so I'm going to go through our office. The first two pictures obviously are Jen and myself, the executive director and the assistant director.
Successful social engineering.
Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Now I think you guys can hear me. We also have success coordinators in the office. The success coordinators are available for all students at Sacred Heart University. They can meet with you for a multitude of reasons, and we'll kind of go through that, but you can schedule regular appointments with them, whether it be weekly, bi-weekly, every month, just to have check-ins, make sure you're on track, make sure, all your questions are being answered, that you are doing well with time management and organization. I know some of you are D1 athletes, and that can be really challenging, figuring out what high school to college looks like, how to manage that time. So we can work with you on that. Kristen Commander is the part-time and transfer student advisor, but she also advises all students at Sacred Heart University. So she's a great resource for you as well. And then Crystal Lewis, you will probably talk to on the phone. She answers all questions for all students, and is also a wonderful resource and asset to our office. So please look out for her as well. If ever you need anything and you don't know how to reach out to us, just remember Student Success. Student Success at sacredheart.edu is our email. We all have access to that email. Any one of us can meet with you, so please email. And our office is located in the Martiri building, on the second floor. You will get to know Martiri pretty well very early on. You'll have at least one class in our building, but it is also where Einstein Bagels is located. Students love Einstein Bagels, so when you come and get a bagel, come and see us. You can, hang out and use our space and do work. You can come and meet with us one-on-one, kind of whatever you need, but definitely utilize our office space. And we're on the second floor, E244. Okay, so we do a lot of things with students, but this just kind of breaks down some of the areas that we work mostly. Time management and organization, which is kind of what I talked about. The difference between high school and college is drastic, and figuring out what that looks like can be, challenging for students. So we can help you with that. Study and test taking, maybe there are things that you need to revamp, or new tools that you want to try, things that you've done in the past that you might need to tweak for the future. We can work on that with you. Stress reduction. Obviously, stress and anxiety is a real thing, but especially during times of change. So we have different de-stress with SAS events. It's part of the 51st days. Please come to that. We do a lot of fun things. We'll always have food for students, but there will be coloring and puzzles and therapy dogs, and just fun stuff to kind of relax, hang out with your peers, get to know us a little bit. So please be on the lookout for the 51st days and come to that. Tutorials on how to use student planning and advising. This is a big one. So right now, student planning and advising as the platform that has your schedule, which is definitely what it is. But it's also going to be where you register for classes in the future. You're going to find your mid-semester and final grades. And some, important information will be through there throughout your 4 years. So learning that early on is really important, and we can kind of walk you through that. University policies and procedures, that can be different, things that you might not have known in the past, dean's list, academic warnings, so on and so forth. We can kind of work with you on what those meanings are and how they impact students. General academic support, obviously. And then if, like I said, we aren't the office that can answer your questions, we will refer you to the appropriate person to make sure all that your questions are answered. This transition is, very challenging for students at times, and we want to try and do the best that we can to kind of bridge that gap. Anything that we can do to facilitate that transition, we'd like to help with. Okay, so this QR code is where you can request to make changes to your fall schedule. We are only making changes for specific reasons. One being that might impact you, if you're a D1 athlete and you have a class that conflicts with a practice time, that's definitely something, you can request to change for. If you have AP or college credits coming in, that's another way, we can definitely look at other courses for you to take if you already have received college credit for the class that you're registered. I know Jen wanted to talk a little bit about that, so she's going to jump in.
So before we even talk about changing your schedules, I want to talk about your schedules. So hopefully you got some information on the recordings from your individual college, but I just want to explain it a little bit more, just so that everybody is on the same page. When you receive your schedule, and you should all have access to it on student planning and advising as of 9:30, 9 o'clock this morning, we have a system that puts your schedule together. And this is the only semester where you will get a schedule. After this, you'll work with your academic advisor to make sure that you're taking the courses that you need to stay on track for your academic program. And then in November, you're going to actually schedule yourself through student planning and advising for the spring semester. But this semester, you were given your schedule. And we do that again to make sure that everybody starts off on the right foot, on the right track with their academic program. So each of you will have at least one major course on your schedule. So if you're a psychology major, you should have Intro to Psychology, PS 110. If you're an exercise science major, you should either have that psychology course or EX 100. If you're a history major, you should have History 100. Half of the business majors are taking Management 101 in the fall. The other half should have a 1-credit course called BU 101 in the fall semester. Along with at least one major course, you should also have a math course. Each major requires at least one math course for their students. Unless you have placed out of math, you should all have a math course on your schedule. Half of you will have FYWS 125, which is your first year writing seminar course. The other half of you will take that course in the spring semester. That course is specific to Sacred Heart. That means that you can't transfer credits in for that course. So even if you took an English composition course at another school while you were in high school, you will get academic credits for that course, but it doesn't fulfill the writing requirement. The other half of you who aren't taking first year writing in the fall will take history. That history course is a 100 level course that is focused on either Western or European history, world history. There's a new course that is entitled the United States and the World. Those courses, excuse me, fulfill the foundational history course. If you took AP US history, you will get credit for that AP US history. If you got a 4 or a 5, it transfers in to fulfill a different requirement. So you may have history 100, 102, 110, 115 on your schedule. You may have credit for US history, but you still need to take that 100 level history course. And then the rest of the course, your fall schedule is made up either of other major requirements. For example, if you're in the sciences, you probably have biology on your schedule, even if you weren't a biology major, and courses that fulfill other core requirements that are part of our foundational core. The foundational core is made up of 9 courses from different areas that represent the liberal arts, because we are a liberal arts institution. We, again, scheduled you for those courses based on what you've told us about your academic experience, whether that is you took the math placement exam or you told us what kinds of college credits or AP credits you expect to bring into Sacred Heart, what your academic interests are. That being said, we aren't able to change students' schedules because they don't like a particular course that they're registered for. So for example, you might be in a course called From Bach to Beethoven, Music 103. That course fulfills the requirement for the fine arts and communication. Unless you are a fine arts or communications major, or you're bringing in credit for that requirement, we wouldn't change your schedule so that because you don't like the title of the course or the content, because you don't know what the course is about yet. You haven't started the course. You don't know what that material is. And again, it's a reflection of our liberal arts foundation, as well as the Catholic intellectual tradition at Sacred Heart. So when it comes to filling out this form using this QR code, you want to keep in mind that your schedule was built, again, to get you off on the right track for your particular academic program. So there are reasons why you might need to change your schedule, and then there are reasons why we wouldn't be able to change your schedule. So why would we change your schedule? It's July now. You might wake up one day in August and say, I thought I wanted to major in blank, but now I know I really want to major in sports communication or history or finance or health science. In that case, you would definitely want to fill out the form because we would need to change your schedule because the current schedule would no longer be appropriate necessarily for what you originally intended to do now that you have a new major. So that's really important. If you're changing your academic program or major, you want to let us know so that we can review your schedule and make sure that it's correct. You can make a request to change your schedule if you're adding a double major. So there are two things you really want to study and two things you really plan on majoring in. In that case, if we can adjust your schedule to get you started on the second major in the fall, we will do that. If we can't, don't worry, because even if you start in the spring semester, you're not going to fall behind. You'll be able to make sure that you catch up in those course requirements. But if we can put you in a second major course, we would do that. We do not schedule for minor courses. Minors are exciting. There's so many to choose from, and a lot of students are really able to pursue something they're just really interested in, they really love, they want to know more about, or that really matches well with their particular major. And it's a great conversation for you to have when you meet your academic advisor to say, here's what I plan on majoring in, but I'm also interested in blank for a minor. Can you tell me more about that? Or can you tell me how I can declare my minor? So it's a good conversation starter with your academic advisor. If you are a student who is commuting to campus, so you're not a residential student, and you have big gaps in your schedule or you have other issues when it comes to commuting, please use the form to tell us a little bit more about what your needs might be. For D1 athletes, as Christina mentioned, we were told what your schedule blocks should be, meaning I have practiced at this time so that you should not have any courses during your practice. Sometimes there are conflicts, mistakes. Sometimes students are walk-ons. We just need to confirm with athletics. So you can fill out the form if you see conflicts with your practice schedule. We do not schedule around team lifts. So if your coach says, here's the time for team lifts and you have an 8 o'clock class on 2 of those days, you're going to have to find a different time to lift on those 2 days because it's just, we have a lot of D1 athletes and we're not able to accommodate that request. We can also put you in touch with Kelsey Armstrong if you have more questions about that. As far as AP and college credits are concerned, they're coming in fast and furious this summer. The registrar's office is reviewing all of the transcripts, and Christine and I just finished changing like 6 or 7 schedules for students who had credit for a course currently on their schedule for the fall. So if you have those college credits, please make sure that you're sending the official transcript to Sacred Heart. Your high school transcript, we need it to prove that you graduated from high school. But when it comes to transferring over college credits, you need to also send the transcript from the college or university that's issuing those credits. You do that by visiting their registrar's website, ordering the transcript, and having it sent to Sacred Heart. AP scores were released a couple of weeks ago. We're getting those scores as well and reviewing them, and we'll be making changes. If you haven't ordered a score report from the College Board to be sent to Sacred Heart admissions, Please make sure that you do that as soon as possible, and we will make any adjustments to your schedule that we need to. Christina, what am I missing?
I think you hit all areas.
Okay.
If you think of anything at the end, you can absolutely ask questions. But that is pretty much when you would use this form and why you have a schedule that you have. And we are available for questions if you have any, regarding your schedule. The next thing I want to talk about is our Pass Portal. The Pass Portal is free to all students at Sacred Heart. It is our tutoring service. It is housed through our Center for Teaching and Learning, which is on West Campus, but that doesn't mean you have to go to West Campus in order to receive tutoring services. We have a multitude of different types of tutoring in different subjects, pretty much tutors in all 100 level classes, which are the courses that you will be taking as your, in your freshman semester, first semester. And you can meet with various types of tutors. So we have tutors that are professional and student. So professional tutors are hired by the university and or professors here teaching the courses. Student tutors are students that are elected by professors who have done really well in the certain area, content area in their classes and chosen to be tutors. We have classroom learning assistants, which are CLAs, which you'll hear a lot about, which is in, a lot of math or science courses where a student is hired by the professor to teach in a group setting or review in a group setting to multiple students at a time on the content that is being taught in those classes. We have writing support, both virtually and in person. You can meet with writing tutors as well as any tutors virtually or in person. But for writing specifically, you can meet with somebody one-on-one, or you can upload a writing assignment to our online writing lab or the OWL. Which is a service for students to take a writing assignment that they have started, give the tutor a bit of information on the specific writing assignment, what they're looking to work with them on, and submit it. And that tutor will review and send back with corrections. Students really like this functionality. If you have a busier schedule and can't really find time to meet with somebody one-on-one, this is a great resource for you. We have learning labs, which are also in the sciences and maths, where students can meet in group settings and learn, have study sessions with peers on certain content. And we also have a free 24/7 tutoring service. People can log on and request a tutor in a specific subject at 1 a.m. and somebody can assist you. So a lot of services for students. Please utilize these. Get familiar with the service early so you know how to maneuver it once you're here. And the QR code to do that is right here. So please save that for the future. These are the two people you want to contact if you ever have questions on specific tutoring. Lisa Henderson is the manager for tutoring and academic support, and Ann Devine is the coordinator for tutoring and academic support. They are over in West. So you could visit them over there, or you could email them at ctltutoring@sacredheart.edu. They both have access to that email. If at some point, you were to request a tutor and maybe there wasn't anybody available at a specific time that worked for you, you could reach out to them and they can help you with next steps on finding someone to meet with. Lastly, we're going to talk about the Office of Student Accessibility. This bottom portion tells you where they're located. Technically, the OSA is on main campus, but it's across the street from the main entrance next to Dr. P's house. So you will see it and know where it's located. It does kind of look like a dentist's office, but it's raised off the street and available to all students. The Office of Student Accessibility works with students on providing academic accommodations to anybody that may need them. They also provide auxiliary aids and different types of accommodations to students here at Sacred Heart. This is something that we want students to do early on. If you were a student that had a 504 or IEP in high school, maybe this is for you. Please scan the QR code to request accommodations below. to start the process and learn more about what is needed and who can assist you in applying for those accommodations on campus.
I just want to jump in and just be really clear with all of you. You have to start the process. So your parent or guardian might have questions that they ask, but because you are now college students, once you turn 18, the accommodations are provided under the Americans with Disabilities Act. And as the person who is making the request, it has to come from you. It doesn't mean your family can't help you with that process. They absolutely can. But to use the QR codes, it really should be you using those QR codes to set something up. You shouldn't feel nervous about it or intimidated about it. The people who work in the OSA are incredibly helpful, and they will explain all the steps to getting the accommodations. The other thing is that we really recommend, as Christina said, that you start this process now. You may be thinking, oh, I'm a college student, I don't think I need these resources anymore. But we want everyone to be successful, and this is part of academic success. Accommodations mean a lot of different things, and it's really going to be up to you to decide who you disclose your accommodations to. So, for example, I teach history, and every semester I get some emails from students who have chosen to disclose to me as their instructor their accommodations, not their disability, their accommodation. And what that means is these are the appropriate accommodations for this student. It might be extended time to take a test or an individualized area to take an exam. So those are the kinds of things that anyone in the OSA is going to be able to help you with. So it's really important that you start the process as soon as you can.
Something to be mindful of, everything is confidential. Any documents that you upload, any conversations that you have with the OSA is all kept in-house. When you issue those accommodation letters, it's never told what your specific disability is, only the accommodation that you're receiving. So a professor will receive that letter and it'll detail the specific accommodations that you're allowed to have in that classroom. So just something to keep in mind, nothing to be nervous about. The OSA is great and they are working with students throughout the summer. So please start this process, early so that those are in place for you. So I believe that's the last slide. One thing that I want to also share with you is our office is having walk-in hours for the next two, so tomorrow and next Thursday. And they are in person, but that does mean virtual as well. So I have created a little flyer, which I've shared in the chat, but I'm also going to share on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Can you see this? Yes. Okay. So it will be the same Zoom that you're using now, tomorrow and next Thursday. You can hop on the Zoom, ask us any questions that you have. You'll see myself, Jen, and all the other people I talked about in the beginning of this session, and anybody can answer your questions, whether it's schedule related or, you're not sure where a specific class is, or we talked about something you wanted more information on, or you're wondering more about the OSA. Definitely utilize this. The Zoom link is below. It's the same one that we're using now, like I said. And if you happen to lose the Zoom link, you can email us at studentsuccess@sacredheart.edu and we will send it to you. So tomorrow from 1 to 3 and next Thursday from 1 to 3. So please do that. I know that some of you are located all over, so this might be a really good option for you to kind of get some FaceTime with somebody on campus to ask your questions. Otherwise, that is the end of our session. Does anybody have any specific questions right now that might be relevant for everybody in this orientation right now? Like I said, if not, always email, come to those walk-in hours. You'll have this Zoom session in the future, and we are working throughout the summer, so you can reach out to us whenever you need.
Let me just add one quick thing about academic advising. We forgot to talk about academic advisors. Each college within the university, college health professions, education, business, arts and sciences, and nursing have their own advising system. So what that means is that some colleges use a combination of professional advisors and faculty advisors. Some use only faculty advisors to work with first-year students, or only use faculty advisors professional advisors to work with first-year students. If you're in the College of Nursing, you've probably been assigned your academic advisor. The other colleges are working on assigning their advisors right now, but you will all know who your academic advisor is by the time the semester starts. In fact, during Welcome Sunday in the morning, you're going to meet with your college representatives and talk more about advising. So in the case of arts and sciences, for example, Christine and I both advise students in the College of Arts and Sciences, and we meet with our students on that Sunday before classes start. So keep an eye out using your Sacred Heart email. We cannot emphasize enough how important it is to
Start using that.
start using your Sacred Heart email. I see, JJ, you've asked a question about who your advisor is. Depending on your major, again, if you are in the College of Nursing, you should be able to see who your academic advisor is. If you are not in the College of Nursing, if you're in business or any of the other colleges, advisors are being assigned this summer, and you will know who that person is by the time you arrive here in August. If you have specific questions, please just use student success at sacredheart.edu. If we can't answer your question, we will connect you with the person in your college or program who can answer that question. For now, because academic advisors, some work 12 months a year and others, especially faculty, are not necessarily available yet over the summer, but we're here all summer. So please do that. You can see the name of your academic advisor when that person is assigned by logging into student planning and advising. That's where you can find a lot of your academic information. The same thing with the question about where do you see your schedule. I only see one class. You shouldn't see just one class. And so what Christina can do is, can you take down the names?
Yes, I'll take
And
down your
reach out
name.
to you so you can get access to the step-by-step information. Basically, you go to My Shoe, you log in with your Sacred Heart username and password. You click on student planning and advising, the link. You log in again with your Sacred Heart username and password, and then you scroll down and you should see your full schedule there. You'll be in a list of different courses. You can also change to calendar view so you can see it on a grid.
But I will send you those, how to access it once the Zoom has concluded. Are there any other questions? Okay, so if there are no other questions, we really thank you for being here. Reach out to us. We are here throughout the summer. We're excited for you to start. And we can't wait to see you in our office. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
I kind of had like an individual question more.
Okay, can you email studentsuccess@sacredheart.edu?
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Just so that we can look at your records and make sure we have your information. I don't want to share it on the Zoom.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Sabrina.
You can also email her a reminder of the walk-in hours tomorrow.
Yes. Okay. I think I'm